What's going on? This is your man John Fortune, your host of the Frustrated Fan Sports Show. And today is my evaluation of the 2026 NFL Draft by the Washington Commanders. And people are not going to like me. And it's time for someone to say it. Okay? It's time for him to stop cooking. Okay? Call me Gordon Ramsay, and at this point, I'm fed up with what the disasters that Adam Peters has been coming up with when it comes to building this team the way it needs to be built. At this point, I'm Gordon Ramsay, and I'm screaming, get out, get out, get out. In fact, what I want you to do is I want you to go pick 2 people that you feel is weak to this team, and I need you to get them out of here. And trust and believe, I will be picking Adam Peters and Dan Quinn. Because at this point right now, Adam Peters is operating like he's Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch. Like he has the length of time to really be successful and to make picks that don't make any level of sense. Contrary to how everybody else feel, I'm sorry. I'm now at a point where we've seen 3 drafts in a row. And currently right now we're talking about 2 players out of 3 drafts that have even come even close to successful. Adam Peters needs to, I don't know. Here's some things that I learned about our guy even more. Adam Peters, our guy Adam Peters. 1, he's not a wheel-in dealer. I mean, what Howie Roseman was doing on draft day, now understand, I was sitting there like, oh, well, this might be the year the Eagles fall off. And then Howie Roseman says, hold my drink, I'll be right back. And makes an insane trade that did nothing but bolster the Eagles by trading for Jonathan Grenard from the Vikings and then signs him to a $100 million deal. We were concerned, well, I was concerned about the Eagles falling off because I was sitting there like, we have an opportunity. They have no pass rushers. And Howie Roseman says, by the way, we just got one of the best. Our guy, and I will say this, I am a little jealous of Philadelphia and their front office because you know why? Howie Roseman makes stuff happen. He makes stuff happen. He understands what's going on. He calls people. Adam Peters acts like he's just this fine batch, this fine, sexy batch that's just waiting for suitors to call him. And you sitting here watching him act like it's no big deal. He chose Sonny Styles, and then when somebody asked him about Sonny Styles, his response was, well, when it got to our pick, nobody was calling. It was just crickets. What? Get on the damn phone. Get on the phone. Caleb Downs falls to the Dallas Cowboys. And now we got to deal with that. I'm going to go through the list of guys. Sonny Styles as our number 1 overall pick. With us installing a new defense, we needed a guy who would be able to call the plays, who'll be able to understand what's going on. It's not to say that Sonny Styles won't learn it and Sonny Styles won't get it, but he won't be ready day one. We needed a day one play caller. The reason we kept Bobby Wagner for so long, the reason we kept people like John Bostic for so long, the reason why we loved London Fletcher for so long was because these guys were elite play callers, green dot guys. And that's what we needed, and we refused to take it. Why? Because Caleb Downs don't meet the measurables? Are you crazy? You don't find guys like him often. Finding elite safeties, understand that we as a franchise have been reeling from the fact that only one time we took an elite safety when we were supposed to. Other than that, we missed out on Ed Reed, which we should have taken, who we should have taken years ago. We missed out on Kyle Hamilton, missed out on him. We took Troy Apke years ago and missed out on James Whiteside. And I think, was Jesse Bates part of that group too? Either way, we're now at a point where it's like, look, we needed an elite level play caller because we're installing a completely new defense. We needed somebody who would be able to adapt and gain and be ready day one. That's what we needed. And it's nothing wrong with Sonny Styles. It's just that he wasn't the player that we needed right there. I mean, I don't even know what Jordan McGee is at this point. How does he even get on the field if you already got Sonny Styles, Leo Chanel, and Frankie Louvu on the field? What do you do at this point now? Great player, Sonny Styles, great player, just not the right one. On to the second pick, or the third, the second pick in the third, our second pick, but it was in the third round. They took Antonio Williams. Now, again, I know some people like him, but guess what? He's still the wrong player. Antonio Williams is no different than Luke McCaffrey, and he's no different than Jalen Lane. He's a short receiver that you took too early. Way too early. There were other receivers on the board that actually had height to them, and you did not take them. I'm like, it blows my mind at how, of all the receivers that was out there, Antonio Williams was the guy you went with. I even suggested Kobe Young. Kobe Young is a big hulking receiver, and like I said, he falls in line with another one of those Georgia receivers that somehow, some way, constantly get missed, and they end up pretty good in the league. I mean, it's so crazy because people are so focused on the tight ends in Georgia that they forget the receivers. He's a short yardage receiver. There's a lot of times where when you watch, because again, I've watched the ACC a lot. When you watch Antonio Wynn, he's not even their number one guy. Their number one guy is TJ Moore. Their number one guy is TJ Moore. Antonio Williams just gets in and he'll catch a short pass and turn it into something, but he doesn't get a lot of yardage. He doesn't get a lot of yardage. He also doesn't get targeted as much as you would want him to. So to take this type of receiver, either they think that Brandon Ayuk is actually coming, and that's the reason you did it, but why would you do that when you just crowded your slot position now? Luke McCaffrey, Jalen Lane, now Antonio Williams. Come on now. What are you doing? What are you doing? In the 6th round, the third pick for us, our third pick in the 5th round, they took Joshua Joseph, the edge out of Tennessee. He's a developmental guy. He's a developmental guy. I don't know how long it's going to take for him to eventually become what y'all want him to become. There's a lot of times, when watching him play, there's a lot of times that he comes off the field a lot, and he seems more like a situational rusher than he is a 3-down rusher or every time rusher. Like, I don't know. Javonte John Baptiste has been with us for now. This is going on his 3rd season. Joshua Josephs is not even all the way there yet. So, to take a developmental edge early in the 5th round, like take a developmental edge in the 5th round, I thought that was kind of crazy. I really honestly thought that was kind of crazy, especially when you had guys like Tariq Sapp and all them still on the board. I don't know. The next pick is the only pick that I understood, and it actually made me think, like, okay, at least this isn't all bad. Keion Allen, the running back out of Penn State. I get this pick. I understand this pick because he's actually like a grinding back. Now, he can make plays. He can get out there, but he's no speed guy. He's no speed guy. There's a lot of times that if, put it like this, Keion Allen he doesn't do the things that you would want him to do, in the sense of he's not that elaborate running back, but he gets the job done. And I get it. I get this pick. I understand this pick. To me, this is probably his best. This is probably the only pick that made any level of sense. When you talk about the entire draft, that also includes the Sonny Styles pick. This Keion Allen pick made more sense than any other pick in the draft. But I get it. I get you need that grinding back who's going to grind those yards, get that yardage, make things happen. He can catch out the backfield. He's not a liability in pass protection. You want this type of guy. And it's sad to say this because we were talking about Bill's poor pass protection, and now we get a guy who's better at pass protecting, and at the same time, he's a grinding back that's going to get you the yards, that's going to wear defenses down, and that's going to make it happen. So this is the one that made the most sense out of this whole thing. Matt Golbin. The center out of Michigan State. Now here we are again. A pick. You do something before. Now here you are again, and you sit up here and you do something that is just like, why? Now here we are again. Matt Golbin. You say you got rid of Tyler Biadasz because he didn't have the size and the weight, and he was getting pushed around and things like that. You bring in a guy who's the same height as Tyler Biadasz, but he's weight-wise smaller than Tyler Biadasz. If Nick Allegretti doesn't pan out and you got to go to him, didn't you just create the issue that you said was the reason you released Tyler Biadasz, was because he was small and undersized and being pushed around? Isn't that what you did with this guy? Isn't that what you did? I'm confused that it makes no sense. It makes zero sense to do that. Then they top it off. The entire draft, you top it off with Ethan Kaliak-Manis. Now, for y'all who don't know who he is, he's the quarterback from Rutgers. Again, because I watch the ACC, but I also watch the Big Ten when Maryland is playing and stuff like that. Now, he had a good game against Maryland, and for some reason, I think that's probably the only game that they saw. But watching him this season, there is no way in hell you thought that this guy was even draft. no, I'm gonna say it, that he was even draft worthy. When you had other things you needed to look at when it came down to it. One, you didn't take a cornerback in this draft. That made no sense. But let me get back to Ethan Khalid Manis. The Rutgers played against 3 ranked teams last year. Those 3 ranked teams was Iowa, Oregon, and Ohio State. Those were the 3 ranked teams that they saw last year. And all 3 of those games, because I happened to watch those games when they were on, and I remember sitting up there watching him, and I said, man, he's going to need some more time in college for him to be any good. He had 0 passing touchdowns in all 3 of those games. And I think in all 3 of those games, I think he had the Iowa game, he threw a pick. The Iowa game, he threw a pick. I think he threw 2 picks in the Oregon game. And I think he threw a pick in the Ohio State game. So he had those 3 games. He did not throw a passing touchdown. He had 4 interceptions. I think that's what it was. And he's not even, when I tell y'all about, so he's pretty much like a RPO type of quarterback. Like, zone read. That's pretty much what his specialty is. He's also like a one-read quarterback. Like, there's so many times where you would see him play and he would throw the ball into double. Clearly the guy is covered. Clearly the guy's covered. And he would, because he was just focused on throwing it to that route, he never sat up there and paid attention to the fact that the route was actually covered. There will be times where you could see that the corner had perfect positioning on the receiver and he would still throw it there. He's like a one-read guy. Like, I know y'all remember how Robert Griffin III was, where Robert was gonna, oh, this is where it's supposed to go? That's the, okay. Ethan Kaliak Manis is the exact same way. The exact same way. It may seem like he's reading the field, but he's really not. Wherever the ball, whatever his first read is, 9 times out of 10, he's throwing it to the first read, period. No matter if it's covered, no matter what's going on, no matter what the issue is, he's throwing it to the first read each and every time. And this right here is what it is. I don't know this RAS score thing. I don't know why Adam Peters has this insane obsession with it, but to me, it's too much now. At this point, it's way too much. And at this point now, we need Adam Peters to stop cooking. We need him to start sitting up there and learning technique. The fact that we saw Howie Roseman, Jerry Jones, and even the Giants, Joe Shane, constantly make moves during draft day, moving up the draft, moving down the draft, jumping back, doing everything they could to sit up there and improve their teams. And watching as we were sitting there waiting around for our next pick was insane to me. Absolutely insane. And then the guys that we took makes no sense except for one guy, and that's Keion Allen. That's the only guy that I feel makes sense. Now again, Sonny Styles could become great, but we needed a green dot guy for this new system that was being installed. How are you putting guys in the best position? Now, I will say this. The offensive guys that I see on here that we drafted, I'm going to tell y'all, I think David Blau is about to run a RPO or a zone read scheme, just based on the guys that he drafted. Antonio Williams, short yardage wide receiver. What does that work for? RPO scheme. A guy who catches the ball and then focuses on yak. Then you got Keion Allen. Again, RPO scheme. Why? Because he's a short yardage back that grinds the yardage. Then you got the center. You got a small center who's somewhat athletic, and the only reason you need him is because you need him to get out on blocks and to be able to pull. Then you got Kaliak Manis, again, a RPO zone read type of quarterback. David Blau may be installing a zone read type of RPO system. Now I could be wrong, but if you draft these type of guys, that tells me that that's the direction you're going in, which means that one, Kaliak Manis doesn't play under center at all. So you're going to try your best to have an RPO system where Jaden Daniels is coming from up under center. I need Adam Peters to stop cooking. I need him to stop cooking. I need him to understand that this was not good. This was not good. And I'm sorry to say it. People can get mad at me all they want, but I'm going to just be honest. This draft to me is a D. And it's not that Sonny style. It's not to say that the skills of these guys aren't great. It's just that these weren't the guys that we needed other than Keion Allen. He's the only one that on this list that I could say we absolutely did. That us taking him was okay, was the right pick. Everybody else, it doesn't make sense. Y'all tell me what y'all think in the comments below. I'm giving the draft a D. That's me. I mean, at this point now, I think that I'm through with Adam Peters cooking. I think that he needs to learn some stuff. I think he needs to be around somebody like Howie Roseman a little bit more, because to me it seems like he doesn't have any friends. The fact that we're still in limbo with this Brandon Ayuk situation is even worse. The fact that you work there and you somehow still can't negotiate well enough to get Brandon Ayuk out of San Francisco, and you were there. These were your friends. These were the people that brought you up, and you can't even negotiate getting him out of there. It's not a will-and dealer, and it's time to let him stop cooking. Y'all tell me what y'all think in the comments below. Hey, if y'all feel some type of way, let me know too. But I'm not impressed with what we did. To me, this gets a grade, a D. Again, we've seen 3 drafts. 3. And so far, we're only talking about Jaden and Mikey Sanderstill being quality guys out of all the drafts. I mean, and maybe Trey Amos. That's about it. I mean, who else are we talking about? I mean, because Bill was okay. He wasn't great. You know, I'll give him Josh Connolly. So 4 guys. 3 until we find out if Trey Amos is up to task. So 3 guys out of 2 drafts so far. Y'all tell me what y'all think in the comments below. Other than that, this has been your man John Fortune, and it's been the Frustrated Fan Sports Show.